Hey, I'm 50 Cent, and I'm in the studio with the Hollywood Reporter. Keep it locked right here.
Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really want to talk about that little explosive show that you executive produce, season 6, final season, and I say quotes because you're about to tell me more about that.
Yeah, it's the final season of Power Book 1.
Yeah.
And then Power Book 2 starts 48 hours later.
When did that come into play? Was that always the plan?
Well, not to the title of Power Book 2. Like, it just does not make sense to even market or promote the idea of it ending when it's growing so fast. Like this year, the first episode of Power came in 40% over its last season's viewership.
Yeah.
You know, so the show's still growing, so there's no reason for you to say that it's going to end, because it's not.
And that's very rare, where a show on television
It's continuing to grow
is
like that.
is not only retaining its viewership, but growing.
Yeah, look, there's a large portion of the audience that watches their television on the phone, on the 8-inch screen. Millennials is there, they're doing that. And I look at them like they're the nightclub going, the younger person that's actually getting into it. And then it's cool. You got the demographic that I feel like is my core demo that is committed to things.
What do you think is, looking at the TV landscape, what's missing out there?
Well, they haven't seen a lot of characters, Latino or African American characters, in the lead to play these big shows like this. So it's cool. Dottie Power's there. Empire had a huge success following that, and it's a lot of it opens the minds and ideas of people in programming to let people of other ethnicities lead the show.
Right. Looking at this specific chapter of Power, this is where all the magic started.
Right.
Was it sad to say goodbye to this chapter?
Well, not sad. It's exciting to see people be so invested. Like I invested early on.
Right.
Like I kind of got the whole network pregnant with my idea because I didn't cost anything for them in the beginning.
Right.
I was getting like $17,000 per episode.
Wow.
I get paid more to go to a nightclub and do one of these. You know what I'm saying? So I was paying to be a part of the project.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to even approach them about it until I got it to a point where you can clearly see that it's a success and that they need to support it.
What did you learn about yourself creatively since you were an executive producer on the show?
I learned that I can kind of channel myself better, because when I first started, even though I was executive producing the show, I was focusing on the Kanan character, just my piece with that. And then when I directed, I had to focus on all 31 scenes and everybody's performance. So it was a whole different perspective to look at things from, and I feel look, none of this stuff is difficult to me anymore. I only have to do it a little bit until I get an understanding of what I'm doing, and then I can do it. I'm like 50 scores easy out here. I'm like,
when did you start wrapping your head around directing? Was that after your character was killed off, or is that something that you always wanted to do?
After is when we immediately started doing things, and I looked at things that I saw in feature films that I really appreciated, that I wanted to be in my episode. And I talked to Courtney about those things, and they kind of fell into, it's like 3 big set pieces in my episode, you know what I mean? And it's the shootout when you come in. So it feels like me because it immediately gets to the shooting.
Yeah.
Everybody, the action comes in like, this is the cheapest thing you can do in a film.
Yeah.
For action, is to fire a squid. To fire a blank and have the squid go off like somebody was hit. Very cheap. Intense because it's life-threatening, but very cheap.
Financial tips, 50 Cent. That's happening right here. You have your hand in a lot of different ventures. Where do you get your drive from?
Oh, I'm crazy. When you come from, like the circumstances I come up under, it forces me to, either you're gonna live within the entrepreneur spirit, and I have to understand that it's a tunnel that doesn't end. So the person that I hang out with has to be willing to go on that journey with me. Because you look at my accounts and you go, why are you getting up? I'm saying, because I got to go to work. And you go, why are you getting up? Because the money's there, so it's really no reason for you to actually have to go today. But I have to go.
You just signed a massive overall deal with Starz. What other stories do you have up your sleeve beyond Power?
Oh man, I got a bunch of stuff. I got a new show that is set to premiere February 23rd on ABC.
Okay, tell us about that.
Isaac Wright. It's called For Life. It's loosely based on Isaac Wright Jr.'s life story. And he was sentenced to 70 years plus life in New Jersey. He was the first person convicted under the Kingpin statute and wrongfully convicted. It's a wild story. Like, the district attorney ended up killing himself. The arresting officer came clean, told the truth about what was happening. It's just nuts. But it's like one in how many people under those circumstances, you know? Like, there's a lot of people in jail that were wrongfully convicted, you know?
Yeah. I want to ask you about your music as well. You recently released a song with Ed Sheeran and Eminem.
Yeah, that's cool.
That surprised a lot of people. How do you choose what projects and collaborations to be a part of?
You know what? That one just happened. Like, it just fell. M's I was coming out as a guest in his last tour. And the last two shows were in London. And I went out and it's like 80,000 people each night. And Ed popped in the second night. And he was like, yo, we gotta do something. And he was like, because M and Ed were talking about working together. And then I just was there. And he was like, yeah, we should do it together. Like, all of us. And M was like, what the fuck is going on? It's supposed to be me and you, fool. Why'd you put 50 on the record? Then we all ended up on the song.
Yeah.
It came out. It was a good record. It was #1 for a little while. And then I got another record from M he sent me for his new album. And then Osuna, a Latin artist, sent me a record. So we've been working with him.
Since you broke in the entertainment industry as a rapper, where does music fit into your career plans moving forward, since it sounds like you're going to be extremely busy?
No, you know what? I'm so conditioned for music. I've been writing music since '97. I don't really need to stop to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I can write on the plane. I can write wherever I'm going. That's how I did my first 3 albums, because I never really stopped touring. So we did it moving.
Right.
The film and television thing, it supports me being able to be influential for a longer period of time. Because hip hop is youth connected. They have a low attention span. You're gonna have to see way more artists come and have one hit and disappear now because of how we're consuming music. They meet the audience before they meet the record companies, and because they're not getting bumped around as much as we was getting bumped around before you got your shot, they're gonna take off and be on the road running around and having the time of their life before they're preconditioned to write music, and then when they come back and slow down, they're not gonna be able to write a hit record to save their life.
To bring it all back, give us your best tease for the rest of the season of Power.
Oh, it's gonna be intense, man. You gotta buckle up and prepare for the ride. It's a roller coaster.
Ooh.
Look, there's so many different cool moments in it that I think, okay, I'll tell you the truth. I think my episode is the best. I think I'm the best. I think I'm 50 scores Gazy. I think I'm winning, baby. All the way right now. But there's another episode coming next week.
Well, we are so excited. We can't wait to see how this season ends. Be sure to catch Power on Starz this Sunday. If you're not tuning in, where the heck are you?
Yeah, I'm hot. I'm hot. If you don't know I'm hot, something's wrong with you. You know Starz Network? They know I'm hot. You know why? Because Starz Network goes up in ratings. The Starz app goes up in ratings. Every time I do something, I'm not even in it. I died. They thought it would go down. It went up because I directed.